Hi bestie, how's it going? How you doing? How is everything? Today we're doing something a little bit different. We've done review videos where we've taken a look at budgeting items from different stores, but what if we were in a world where we're a little bit crafty and we wanted to make it ourselves? So bestie, I've done the groundwork. I've gone to Amazon and seen what I could do to buy the smallest amount of items that we could possibly need and to try to make a cash envelope out of it. Now I'm going to show you how to do this step by step, but what I will tell you bestie is that I've spent as little money as I possibly can, and from the materials that I've got we can make a couple of cash envelopes. Wait to the end for my final result on what I find, but in today's video we're going to be turning this to this, and this turned out not too shabby bestie. Let's go ahead and find out how I did it. So bestie, the parcel from Amazon has arrived. She's absolutely ginormous, but as we know with Amazon parcels, sometimes it's a massive parcel and it's absolutely tiny in there. So let's open this together. So again, massive. Let's open it from the bottom because it's got my address on the top. Using a pair of scissors, and yeah, let's get into this. So we ordered 3 things, most of which I think will be okay. So first off, we've got this sort of holographic paper. I thought it was going to be a bit thicker, but let's take a look because I wanted to make a cash envelope just like nice. So, oh, these are fancy and they're thin. Oh, look at that. They're really thin as well, so we can make quite a lot. They're not as foily as I thought, so we could do all, oh, I like that one. We could do all sorts. That is like, I don't know if it's coming up like that. I love that. We've got some heart ones and we've got this one here. These are really cool, like really cool. I don't know how you'd ever, this is so trippy. I really like that. Okay, so this pack of paper here, she cost £3.74. So the price you're seeing is an ex-VAT price because I've got Amazon for Business. But yeah, I really like that. So I think we're going to do a blue envelope today. Secondarily, I got some vinyl. Now this doesn't look, it was marketed as sort of matte vinyl. Ooh, I don't know what it's going to be like. I mean, I'm going to try it through the machine that I've got. I've got like an old vinyl cutter, but if it doesn't work, I've got backups. So we're going to try that. My machine might completely eat it up, but if you are in a scenario where you don't have a Cricut or a vinyl cutter, I've got a backup for you. But I thought I would try some cheap vinyl. The vinyl bestie, she costs £5.98 for that roll. So it's relatively expensive for vinyl, but it's easy to get hold of. And then I got this laminator as well. So she was the cheapest laminator I could find. How much was she? Hold on, let me just quickly look at this. So normally she's £24.78, but I got her for £16.39. She's on a deal at the moment. So 16 quid for a laminator is an absolute bargain, but it doesn't always mean that you're going to get good stuff. So you've got some A5 laminating sheets there, which is cool, so we can work with it, and some A6 in there. That's cool, we can work with that. They came with it free. And here's the look at the size of this. She's tiny. Right, let's move this box. So here's the laminator here, and she's tiny. Let's just see how she goes. So she says she does hot and cold. This looks like it's going to be terrible, but we're going to try it out, bestie, and see how it goes. Obviously, if this doesn't work, we'll revert to the laminators that I've got. But basically, I feel like we've got everything we could need to make an envelope. So let's go ahead and get started. So I started off with the blue piece of paper and I went over to the back of it. Now, I realized that the back of it was white paper. So what I did is I marked out using a ruler and a pen, and you can find that at home really simple. I marked out a square of 17 centimeters by 9 because that's the width I used for the design part of a cash envelope. But then I doubled it over. So I actually had a longer rectangle. The reason why is because I wanted to make sure that I didn't show a white side. I wanted to fold it over so I've got blue holographic on both sides. I then cut it out using a craft knife, but you could really easily use a pair of scissors. Like, it's probably a bit overkill to use a craft knife, but that's just how I prefer to do stuff. I then got an A5 pouch of the laminating pouches that came with the laminator. And what I did is I put that inside the pouch and I cut out the correct width. So the same width, but whatever height, the height doesn't really matter. And the reason why is because I was trying to make a pocket. I wanted to make a luxury cash envelope. But if you want to sort of understand why I make that pocket, there's a video on how to make a cash envelope. I'll link that in the description, but let's move on. So then I got another A5 pouch of laminating pouch. I keep on saying pouch, but yeah, I got another A5 pouch and I made the sandwich to make a cash envelope. So we had the doubled over blue holographic paper, and I made sure that the fold of the paper was at the top, because if I put it at the bottom, it would make another pouch, if that makes sense. So we'd have like, yeah, that makes sense to me, right? Then I put the pouch that I just cut out, just one side of it with the tacky side facing up, and I put it into the A5 paper. Now the laminator took very, very little time at all to heat up. It was actually quite surprising. It took about probably a minute and a half, and compared to my laminators, even though they are like a lot more heavy duty, it took very, very little time. It sped through it really, really quick as well, which was quite exciting to see. But the quality is a lot less than what I'd expect, and we'll talk about that like a little bit later. So after it came out of the laminator, what I did is I took to my guillotine and I cut it out. Now you could cut it out with a craft knife or a pair of scissors, really, really easy, but basically I gave it the same dimensions that I give to all of my cash envelopes. So it's about 8mm either side and about 2cm at the bottom. I do that to make them all universal, but you know, it's up to you. It's like just your tastes, whatever you prefer. I then got a 6-ring hole punch. This is actually from Amazon. She's a beaut, and this cost a tenner, but if you're not going to hole punch them, then you don't need that step, but you can get them from all sorts of places. I've seen them on AliExpress, Temu, like all of those places for a lot cheaper than a tenner. I then decided that I was going to do the vinyl. So my system is like a little bit older, so I was a bit nervous about this vinyl. Now this vinyl, after doing a bit of research, is actually for covering like countertops and stuff. It is a lot thinner than like what I normally use. So I was a bit nervous that the machine was going to tear it up, but it actually didn't at all. It cut it out okay. When I came to weed it, it literally was just, I wouldn't recommend, bestie. I'd buy proper vinyl. Even the Cricut stuff's better. This is not good stuff, but it is possible. So if you've got the patience to get it a little bit cheaper, you can definitely do it that way. Now, an alternative, if you don't have a Cricut machine or anything like that, is to get some of these. I found these on Amazon. You can get quite a lot for like £4. If you look, they've got a lot of categories on. There's 2 different pages. So if you don't have a Cricut, you can use like marker pen or anything like that, or you can just buy these, because these are really, really serviceable. So I applied the vinyl with some tape that I had. You could use masking tape or painter's tape to peel it off, but if you've got a Cricut, you're probably going to have all of that stuff anyway. And there we have it, a perfectly marketable, usable cash envelope. So when we look at the cash envelope itself, it's actually not horrendous. Now, something I can tell you is, because we're using inferior products, this is bendy as anything. So if we compare it to one of mine, it does bend, but it's just like, you can, like, there is a big difference. So just in terms of quality of product, it is different. So I was able to get like the same dimensions, all of that stuff. So this is a lot firmer, and also it's crystal clear. You can see the design and whatever behind it absolutely flawlessly. With this one, not sure if you can tell, but there's sort of like mottling, and that's because the laminator just can't get hot enough to deal with what we did. So we did very, very thin, and I think it's probably 80 micron, very, very thin laminating, and but a doubled over piece of paper, right? So it just couldn't really deal with that. But for a cash envelope, this does work. It is serviceable, it is usable. Now, what I love about it is just this, I just don't know if it's coming across on camera very, very well, but it is just, it's so nice. I kind of want to buy a load of this paper and do like some holographic ones, but yeah, it's so nice. So if you wanted to do something custom and just for you, like, this works. It's serviceable. It's just things that I couldn't get over is how thin it is. So if you up the quality of the laminating pouch, you should be okay. The vinyl though was quite surprising. It does work okay. So I think I'll keep that for just in case I run out of black, but it's not ideal to use at all. So yeah, it did work, bestie. There's just not really much wrong with this cash envelope other than you can sort of like, you can see the warp in it. So like if we compare it against my cash envelope again, die straight. This one's got a warp in it. It's very, very difficult to not see that. But yeah, like this is like the best quality that I know of. And this is like inferior, but you know, there's not much telling them apart, bestie. There really isn't. So how much would this set you back if you decided to do cash envelopes DIY? So when I add it all up, the laminator costs $16.39, the vinyl costs $4.91, which you could skip as a step, and the paper costs £3.74. So all in all, it costs £25.04 to make this happen. Now, obviously there's loads of other paper choices. I especially like this green one, and there were quite a lot of laminating sheets. There were like 7 laminating sheets. So out of all of that, without buying additional paper and additional laminating pouches, you could get 5 cash envelopes out of that. So in terms of what you can get from my shop, you can get 6 cash envelopes with categories for £20. So short term, it is more expensive, but if you bought cash envelopes and you needed to buy a lot, and also if you're a crafty person, it probably could work out cheaper. But short term, if you want 6 cash envelopes, no, it's not cheaper to DIY it, but this is how you might go about it. Now there's tons of steps you could skip with this one. You don't have to attach vinyl. As I said, you can use these stickers, or you can just Sharpie on your label if you want to. You don't even have to make the pocket in the cash envelopes. And if you want a really good rundown on how to make a cash envelope, definitely check out the video where I explained how to do it. So today we've DIY'd, and we're going to be DIYing very, very soon. We're going to try loads of different places and try and find a way to make it cheaper. We're going to be utilizing that Amazon laminator as much as we can, because bestie, I have not got much else use for it. Are you a crafty person? Like, do you like making this sort of stuff? Because I find that as the shop's got bigger and bigger, it's become harder and harder to offer truly custom stuff. Now, obviously, there's loads of different designs you can get. There's loads of different vinyl options that you can get. But to get something that is truly you, sometimes you just have to make it yourself. So offering this like advice and how-to is like really enjoyable to me, and I hope you enjoy it. And bestie, this should hopefully become a series. Thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. So if this does become a series, where would you like me to buy stuff from next? I want to avoid getting stuff from like Temu and AliExpress and stuff like that. I want to go to some like stationery shops and buy like different papers and laminating pouches and just see where we can get a nice combination. And obviously if they do sell a laminator, I'll try out the laminator as well. But yeah, what do you reckon, guys? If you would like me to test out like the stationery, the paper, the bits and bobs from other stores, let me know where down in the comments down below. Have you considered becoming a channel member or a patron? Patrons get exclusive content, sneak peeks, and significant discounts off my Etsy store. Channel members get early access to every single video. In fact, they've seen this video long before you have, bestie. If you like the sounds of those perks and you like the sound of me, have a look at the links in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. That's all we have for today, but until the next video, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. Always remember,
don't trust Ira.
And bestie, I'm going to leave you with this playlist here. This is the I Tried playlist. So it's when I've tried out different shops and also where I've DIY'd stuff. So this is where this sort of stuff is going to live. So check out this one. And it's also got that video I spoke about where I showed you how to make a cash envelope. So if you want to know a full in-depth way, here it is.